Hey everybody, it's Jesse Doback here and welcome to the Beyond Big Influence Show with Jesse Doback. And I have a special guest with me here today. I got Nick Fong in the building. Nick, you there?
I'm here, Jesse. Glad to be here.
So we're going to go live. I'm going to interview Nick. Nick has been a celebrity, real estate agent, investor, doing a whole bunch of different things in the real estate world on HGTV, and he's out in Los Cabos with his family. He's an amazing family man. He created his whole business based on the name of all the people in his family, and he'll get into that in a second. We're going to interview him. We're going to talk about some really good investments for real estate, how he's created influence in the real estate world, and we're going to rock and roll here today. So if you're out there, drop a comment. Let us know. We're on 6 different channels on Facebook, and we're also streaming this live on YouTube. So make sure you leave a comment. Click the like button so we get more people out there to see these powerful real estate investments and different things that Nick has built out there. So, all right, Nick, so we're going to dive in. And, first of all, I'm curious to know like how you got involved in the real estate world and, how this became what you're going to do with your life and building your family and building this amazing lifestyle. Like, how did this all come about for you?
So that's a long answer to it. Let me tell you that I'm not from Cabo. I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois. And so I was born and raised there, went to the University of Illinois. The first introduction to real estate was actually a real estate finance class at university. And so I loved it. I actually graduated with a degree in real estate finance. And I'm dating myself. This is back in 1997. But before I graduated, I didn't know what I could do with real estate. New graduate. And so I went to my career counselor and I said, all I want to do after graduating from college is I want to get a job where I can travel. My second to last semester, I did a student exchange in Australia, and the travel bug hit me. And so when I came back for my final semester, I told my career counselor, get me a job where I'm traveling. And so at the end of the 90s, the big thing was the Y2K scare. And so they were hiring IT consultants. So I did in total 5 years of IT consulting before I got into the real estate sales and mortgage business in Chicago. And I was doing that in the early 2000s, set up my own company. And in 2001, came on vacation to Cabo San Lucas. And Cabo San Lucas, I didn't even know what Cabo San Lucas where it was. And it was a spring break in 2001. Long story short, I met my wife on the second night that I was here.
Wow.
And I moved here in December of 2004.
And that was a wrap, huh? The second night you got there and you're just like, wow, she's amazing. I'm just going to go all in with her. That's great.
So we got married in 2006. We had our first child, our daughter Sienna, in 2009. Yeah, and nice. we set up our company Ronival in 2010. And so it's been, as you mentioned in the introduction, it's been a company that we started as a family, just my wife and myself. And it's kind of morphed into this, the #1 real estate company in all of Baja. So
that's amazing. And all the letters and the name, can you kind of break that down? Like the row is like you and your son, I believe. And then, it's like, or maybe I'm wrong, but maybe the row is your wife. So can you break it down like what Ronival means?
Yeah, I'll make sure to include the link to the video we did. So earlier this year, what we were finding is we're based in Cabo San Lucas. And so the original company name was Los Cabos Agent. It made a lot of sense. But as the business grew and we started expanding into other geographic markets in our state, places like La Paz, Loreto, Todos Santos, it didn't apply the name. So we kind of outgrew the name. And so in the beginning of 2020, we recorded a video and we announced the new name, which is Ronival. So RO stands for my son's first two initials and my wife's first two initials. So Rocio is my wife, Rocco is my son, and the next two letters is NI, and that's me, Nick. And then the last three initials, VAL, is short for Valentina, which is the middle name of my daughter, Sienna. So that's Ronival.
That's amazing. I mean, the name sounds really good, high class, amazing name, and it served you well. How long have you had that name?
So we just, for commercial purposes, released Ronival at the beginning of like February 2020. But the legal name of our company has always been Ronival, and that's been since 2010.
Amazing. I mean, huge influence in your family. You're a huge influence to them, and you're doing amazing things. I think everybody loves a good family business. So that's really cool how you've incorporated that in with your branding. How much of that would you say has helped you be successful, having your whole family involved and just having it all like that? I mean, I'm sure that's really helped out.
You know, it's interesting, Jesse, because Rocio is also my business partner. And so she runs the other side of the business, which is property management, rentals, projects. And so it's always been family. And then with our kids growing up, they're getting more involved in the social media presence that we have as a company. But really within the company as it has grown, one of the things culturally speaking in the company that we try to maintain is like a family unit. Like it's more than just business. It's a cultural thing. It's somewhere where you can socialize with your coworkers. It's a place where you feel like it's a family, and it's a family that continues to grow. And so even though the name is rooted with just my immediate family, my wife and my two kids, the name really permeates throughout the company in the culture because we are a family style business, and how we treat one another, how we do business with our clients.
Absolutely. So you ended up down in Los Cabos, of all places. Why there? Why did you end up going there?
You know, it was spring break. It was spring break, Jesse, and it was a vacation. And so it really was because I met my wife, Rocio. And and the original design was not us living in Cabo. It was living in Chicago. And you could see that.
Hey, Los Cabos is probably a better place to be, man. My opinion.
100%. And so we figured that out very, very quickly. And so we never did move to Chicago. We've always been here in Cabo San Lucas, and it's a great place to call home.
Absolutely. Yeah. So just so you guys know, I'm considering moving down there. I've been talking to Nick, and he's working with my business partner, Kristen Hiscock, on some developments down there. So let's talk about that a little bit, because a lot of people, you know, right now in the uncertain times of what we're going through, do you feel like it's a safe place to be down there and a good place to be during these times, what's going on in the world?
Yeah, you know, it is crazy times. And, you know, most of our clients are coming from the United States and in Canada. So the conversations we're having, you know, I tend not to watch the news. So I don't really have my pulse on what's happening on the news, the latest thing on Fox or CNBC. But it is very safe. And what is very refreshing is that, you know, living in a beach town, living in the Baja, we're the least populated state in the country. And so when you look at real estate trends, people are tending to move out of the urban setting and more into the rural setting. And going from not such good weather to good weather. You know, Cabo, the Baja has over 300 days of sunshine a year. It's not an urban setting. Things are spaced out. You have the beach. I mean, it's extremely safe, and it's built on tourism. Our area is built on tourism. So
it's a lot of Americans, right, that live there, or how does that?
Yeah, we have a large expat community that is either living here full time or doing the snowbird thing, coming here during the winters.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you've obviously created a lot of influence down there. You said you're the #1 real estate company in all of Baja, right? So
right.
So you probably can find people places to live pretty easy, the top-notch places, depending on their needs. So what are some good areas and good investments down in that area?
So for those of you that don't know, the Baja is a peninsula, and it's about 1,000 miles long. So going from San Diego, where you're located, Jesse, we're 1,000 miles apart. But literally, I can drive to you, or you can drive to me. I'm located at the southern tip of the Baja, and the advantages of what, living here and being here is that I think that just the way of life, things slow down dramatically when you're here. I was with someone a couple weeks ago, and he was visiting for the first time here, actually, ironically from Chicago. And he was saying, as soon as I got off the airplane, I felt like all my stress go down, all the craziness in the world. And I told him that's exactly what I felt nearly 20 years ago now when I first visited the Cabo. And Jesse, I apologize. I get sidetracked easily. You had a question in there. I don't think I answered it.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, like, what's a good investment down there? I mean, you are talking about a lot of really important things for sure. So, I mean, you can go any way you want. But my question was, like, what are some good investment areas? I mean, 'cause I have a friend. She's down in La Paz. She's bought real estate down there, and she lives down there for part of the year. She also lives in like Beverly Hills in LA, but she's going down there because it's not so pretty up there right now, especially during those fires and all that stuff. So what are some good areas down there besides Los Cabos? I mean, that's obviously a hot area and where you kind of centralized. Is that the top place? Is there other places? What would you say, like somebody looking for that lifestyle? Because we got a lot of people that are listening in and that are going to be watching here that are looking for that lifestyle. They're entrepreneurs. They're people that they can work from a computer. They want that freedom, and they probably want that beach view and all that stuff. That's what I'm looking for as well. Yeah. So what are some good areas down there to invest or to move to? Yeah,
I mean, all of Los Cabos is a great place to invest, to live, to relocate to. But if you look at how my company has gone, we're going up the coastlines of the peninsula. And so that means on the east side of our peninsula, we have the Sea of Cortez. On the west side, we have the Pacific Ocean. And the trend and the opportunities are lying in going up the coastlines. And that's the area where you can get less priced real estate. And we're seeing that with our clients. We're seeing that with the search traffic online. And that's why our company is setting up offices along the coastline. And so that's why, as I mentioned earlier, the reason why we had to change our name is because of the expansion of the demand of properties in areas like Todos Santos, La Paz, where your friend is located. We just listed properties in a new project that's literally like living on an island. It's called Paraíso del Mar, and you're on a golf course, you're on the beach, you're on essentially an island that you have to take a boat to get to. And you're in absolute paradise. And that's what the name means. Paraíso del Mar. Paradise by the sea, And so,
amazing. Yeah, that's awesome, man. And there's a lot of things I know to do down there. So what are some of the things people do on a daily basis? You said life's going to slow down. It's less city, less hectic, less people. I mean, maybe not quite as much going on a daily basis, but there are amazing things to do. Can you talk a little bit about that, the lifestyle?
Yeah, 100%. You know, if you're an outdoor enthusiast, whether it's you want to swim in the ocean, a lot of beaches that you can get in the water and swim, snorkeling, scuba diving, surfing. There are several surf beaches, stand-up paddleboarding, sea kayaking, golf. Golf is, there's a lot of golf options down here. Or if you like to go mountain biking, trail running, just hiking through the mountains, through the desert. There's ATVing, horseback riding. There are areas in it in the East Cape, so that's the Sea of Cortez side. Going up the peninsula, there's areas like La Ventana, Los Barriles, where it's world famous for the kite surfing. It's
wow.
People come around the world to these places to go kite surfing. So anything boating, fishing.
I'm a fisherman, man. I was watching some videos and people were like, yeah, I caught 9 marlin in one day. And it's like, people that go out fishing here, they're lucky if they even they get a bite on a marlin, because they're more south. In San Diego, you got to go like 20 miles or whatever. It takes about 3 hours to go 20 miles. And, down there, the water's warmer. So the fish, I know there's probably a lot more fish down there. So,
yeah, no, absolutely. And that's what was surprising. When I was living in Chicago, people were saying, oh, I want to retire in San Diego. The weather's amazing in San Diego.
It's cold. Compared to down there. Yep.
So although I've never lived in San Diego, I've visited several times. Living in Cabo, it was surprising to me to hear a lot of our clients coming from San Diego and saying, wow, I came to Cabo because it's warmer and the water temperature is a lot warmer.
Yeah. Is it like bath water then? Or like, how would it compare to like Hawaii or something like that, like on the water side?
Yeah, this time of year is extremely, it's very warm. It's like bath water.
Yeah, what's the temperature in Fahrenheit? Do you know?
Yeah, I would say in the mid 50s, 50s. No, sorry, 80s. Sorry,
mid 80s. Yeah, okay.
Mid to upper 80s.
That's warm. So anything over 80 is warm. So
yeah.
And
then in the winter time, it will get in the upper 70s. So that's warmer than it'll get in San Diego in the winter. So just saying. Okay.
I mean, that's pretty crazy. I mean, so if you like the beach, like me, I live in La Jolla. I live at the beach, but I always find myself in the rat race, not really enjoying it because it's like a lot going on here. I was laughing hysterically when you're like, life slows down and it's like, you're kind of getting away from that stuff. So you probably sleep better, and there's probably like some more other things that you benefit from being there too.
Yeah, and you don't have the traffic that you're contending with. Everything is within, a 5-minute, 10-minute max car ride. People are friendly. Weather is amazing. The food is incredible because of the tourism, the influence of all the different cuisines and the hotels having 5-star restaurants. It's amazing. And then if you like tacos, we have plenty of tacos. And,
we got that in San Diego too. So
for sure.
Awesome. Cool, man. Well, it was awesome. Like all that information. Is there any negative side to it though? Like the hurricanes, is that like a scare for you? Or like, I mean, there's like people say earthquakes here and all these other things and fires. I mean, so it's not like, there's always that kind of thing, but how has that been?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not all positive. So some of the negatives is we're kind of living island life. We're at the bottom of the peninsula. And so some complaints that you hear, which is not uncommon from people living on an island, is that you get a little bit island fever where you want to get out and you want to go to a museum, you want to go to a live music event. So we don't get that much in terms of culture. That is improving, I will say, with the growth of all of Los Cabos.
Yeah.
The other thing that people during hurricane season, which we're in the middle of hurricane season right now, that's when we'll get the majority of our rain and high winds. And so although it's not extremely common for us to receive hurricanes every year, we will get our rain during the months of August and September typically. So this time of the year, it's in the 90s, it's humid, it's not comfortable outside, but the other 9-10 months out of the year, it's low humidity, average temperature in the 80s, nighttime temperatures in the 60s, upper 60s. So it really is the ideal weather. The other things that people don't get as much here is like if you like to shop, if you like to buy things, you don't have a lot of options. So typically people that live here full time, myself included, will go to places like San Diego, right? And to do our shopping for clothes or whatnot. That has changed in the last couple of years because we do have Amazon delivers here. And so we do order a lot of things online. And so that's been a huge improvement to quality of life too.
Awesome. So I'm going to put if anybody wants to follow you, if they're tuning in right now and you want to follow Nick and you're interested in possibly this lifestyle where you can be free and live in paradise for a really reasonable price. We'll talk about that in a second. So you can go to @RonnieVol, or it looks like this, guys, so you can see it a little bit bigger. So just follow him. He's all over social media. Just type in Ronnie Vol. He's also got RonnieVol.com, so we'll talk about that in a little bit as well. Make sure you follow Nick because he's just a good guy. He's a family guy. He's building a family business. We're going to talk a little bit about his influence that he's created. He's created massive influence out in the world in real estate and getting on HGTV and all that kind of stuff. So we'll talk about that a little bit, Nick. So yeah, what does it take if somebody wants to start a real estate as a career? What do you think it's going to take for them to get going? I mean, social media is probably a big part of it. I know you focus on that.
Yeah, I mean, getting into the real estate market here in the Baja, it definitely helps if you have real estate experience back home. If you're coming from the U.S. or Canada, I do have agents on my team that do have that history, that work experience. But sometimes we overcomplicate things. We think you have to be amazing on social media. You have to use all this amazing technology. But I'll tell you that in my experience, some of the more successful people are ones that just do old-fashioned type stuff, like picking up the phone and calling, the equivalent of door knocking, right? Just having deep, meaningful relationships. Yes, the technology helps, and our company is heavy on technology. So that helps a tremendous amount. But, doing a lot of things which I preach in my company and it's a part of our company culture, which is coaching, personal development, mentoring. And that's really important if you're wanting to get into this business to be in touch with a company, with a mentor, with a broker, with a team that's going to have that vision. Because it's not easy. This market might be harder than other real estate markets in the United States and Canada, just because it is a tourist second home destination. And so our average market time for a sold property is a year. So it's not like putting a house on the market right now in San Diego and it has multiple offers, right?
Yeah, boom, 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 and it's gone before you can even pick up the phone, Exactly. Yeah.
So it's very challenging. It has a lot of ups and downs, like any real estate business, but I think it's accentuated even more down here. So your support network is super important. Social media definitely helps. You mentioned me getting on HGTV.
How did that help? Yeah.
I mean, amazing. In fact, right before jumping on this, this call, I got an email from someone saying that they're coming in 10 days and wanting to look at property and relocate, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
From Arizona. And I asked them, how did you get a hold of me? And they said, oh, I've seen you on TV. And so then it's like,
you're using your influence beyond big influence. That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it's a starting point. You know, I'm not the only real estate agent on TV, right? There's hundreds of other agents, but it's using that initial starting point and using it as a catalyst to grow your social media, to communicate with people, to build those relationships, to meet new people like Jesse. We just met right now. I know we've been communicating by email and you've been communicating with my team. Yeah. Hopefully you do relocate down to Cabo.
I'm looking forward to it.
But it's, you know, doing my first episode on HGTV over 6 years ago, it definitely helped, but that's not the end all be all, right? It's a start. And so social media, the same thing. It's not an end all be all. There's not just one magic pill that's going to not only grow your business, but sustain your business, right? And that's the important thing. It's a lot of hard work, and there's a lot of things that are going to have to go into the business to continue to grow and stabilize it.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing, Nick. I just got a question for you. What do you think your superpower is? If you had just one thing that you're the best in the world at, as far as in your niche, what would that be? Have you thought about that?
I tend not to look too much on my strengths. I tend to look at more what I need to improve on. But if I were to reflect on that, I think big. I think really big. I'm not afraid to think big, because I look at who is doing what I want to do better than what I am doing right now, and there's always someone doing it better. And so it's
does that
always
make
possible.
you upset when you see it? When you see someone doing it bigger than you, does it kind of fuel your fire a little, or how does it make you feel? Like just opens your eyes, or it kicks you a little bit?
It's a motivator. You know, it doesn't upset me at all. It actually encourages me that there's a way to get it done, right? And
Amazing.
there's so many great people out there that will show you the way, right? And so I think is my superpower. My superpower is never getting comfortable, always challenging myself, always thinking bigger.
Love it.
But, yeah.
Me and you are very alike in that way. You know, that's why I came up with Beyond Big Influence. I think bigger. I look at myself and envision myself thinking bigger than even like Elon Musk, or, you know, like he's going to fly. Forget going to the moon. I'm going to go to Mars. Forget doing this. I'm going to do, you know what I mean? So like, that's kind of how I am as well. And, you know, I'm happy to have you on the show for that reason. So what do you think? You mentioned you tend to like focus on your weaknesses. I'm sure you're just trying to make them into strengths or make them better, like figure out that. What do you think like a weakness is that you're working on right now?
A part of thinking big also is getting involved in too many things. And so is narrowing the focus, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's always, and then I think with anyone that thinks big, it's always balance. If there truly is balance. So work-life balance. And so that is always a challenge. And I think it always will be for me, because I'm always pushing, thinking bigger, trying to do bigger. And if you're not cognizant and aware of what's going on, that balance can get thrown off pretty quickly.
No doubt about it. I mean, you do try to do too much, you might end up doing nothing. So that could be that's something that a lot of people have talked about on this show, just trying to do too much and not being able to do anything. So that's amazing, Nick. you've been super gracious with your time. I really appreciate everything that you're bringing to the table here. So what's next for you? What are you working on now? Like what's the big next step for you?
So the focus of the company is to, we're dominating our state. We're going to continue to dominate and grow.
When you say state, I just don't know what that means. Is that like a certain state down there? Like I don't know how Mexico is divided. So
yeah, so there's the state. So Baja California Sur, the South Baja is our state.
Yeah,
and so we're going to continue to dominate our state, continue to take on market share, but we're going throughout Mexico. And so what you'll be able to find with us here shortly is having a presence in other tourist destinations like Puerto Vallarta, like Cancun, Tulum, Playa del Carmen. And so and then eventually throughout Latin America.
Do you guys have any properties out in those areas right now, or is that something you're just looking for like in the future?
Yeah, so currently we don't, but I've already been in discussions with developers that have presence in those areas. And so, developers tend to concentrate on in our country of Mexico, the tourist areas. So the Tulums, the Cancuns, the Puerto Vallartas, the Los Cabos. And so for us as a company in Ronival, we can leverage a lot of the systems, the tools, the knowledge, and apply it to other market areas. And that's the big, that's where you're going to see our company going.
Okay. Yeah, that's amazing because those are a lot of places that just like Cabo San Lucas, Los Cabos, the people are looking for. So those are all the tourist destinations. I feel like a lot of Americans just recognize those names. They have those names have influence in their mind is where they could expand to. So I feel like if you can keep the success going with where you're at, obviously you can use the same formula as you expand. So I look forward to seeing you grow and go into the next beyond big influence in different areas of what you're doing. So that's really amazing for sure.
Yeah, Jesse, and hurry up, get down to Cabo. I have an ice cold beer waiting for you.
Yeah. Hey, when should I come down? When's a good time? I mean, like what's during the weekend? Yeah, we need to figure that out for sure.
Yeah. I mean, you come down whenever you're ready. I'm here. And I look forward to meeting in person. We could do another show live in person.
Yeah, let's do it. I can bring some gear. I'd probably fly down there for a few days or something like, yeah. So I just need to figure out, where I'm going to stay. We'll get in touch. Is going down there though, there's like I know there's a lot of Americans and stuff. I mean, how important is knowing Spanish for like living there, thriving there, all that kind of thing?
No, it's very, non-Spanish speaking friendly. So most of the people do speak English because it's a tourist destination geared more towards the English speaking tourist. You would have no problem whatsoever integrating.
Okay. And one quick question. I know we kind of brushed over this a little, not really, but the pricing down there, how does it differ from like the United States as far as like what you get per square foot or whatever? And like, there's a lot of ocean views and a lot of cool stuff. How does the pricing break down? And why do you think, because I know it is cheaper than like say La Jolla, it's probably like a third of the cost of what you get here. And, you can get a better view and all that stuff. So how's the pricing breakdown and why is it so cheap or whatever? Why would you? Yeah, I mean, would you say? So,
just to give you an idea, I mean, we do have properties that are in the $20 million price range. So make no mistake about it. We do have luxury real estate and high price real estate, but literally across the street from my office, there's a new construction project where you can get a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, brand new construction, 1,000 square foot condo, a couple blocks from the water, right? Community swimming pool, secured, gated, and $150,000.
Oh, wow. How much a month? What would your mortgage be on something like that?
So if the mortgages here start at a minimum 40% down, the interest rates are higher. They start in the 8% price range. But if you put 40% down on something like that and a 15-year fix, your monthly payment is probably $800 a month.
Jeez. So you could have an ocean view, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, condo. How many square feet you said? 1,000?
1,000 square feet.
For like $800 a month. I mean, you get something like that where I live. I mean, it's like $3,000 a month, you know?
Well, and then what do you pay in real estate taxes per year? Thousands of dollars, right?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of fees, you know, it's California. So
that same property, you're going to pay like $100 a year in real estate taxes.
So the cost of living is just going to be like, not only like the cost of rent, like a third of the cost, but like the cost of living's like probably a third of the cost as well for all the other fees and stuff. One thing for me, I mean, I know we probably already went over this, but you know, I love cars and stuff. And I know like, how dangerous is it if you're going to be like driving nice cars down there? I mean, if people are seeing you with money and like all that kind of stuff, like say you're successful in your business and you start making money and you like certain things, and is that something that you could do down there? Because, you know, Kristen was telling me you probably want to get rid of your Corvette and get like a Jeep. And it's like, well, I like driving fast cars. I mean, I'm already looking at the new cars, the new models of what I want. So like, how would that fit in down there?
Yeah, so I mean, people do have sports cars here. I've seen a couple Corvettes, you know, Porsches. But the reason why is not because of safety, that people are going to think you have money and safety issues because of that, but it's because we're in the Baja, we're in the desert. So there are parts and many parts where it's a dirt road. And so
yeah, you won't be able to drive.
Exactly. And then throughout Mexico, you have to get used to the speed bump. So the speed bumps are all over the place. And you can get a speed bump like this high and you'll be bottoming out your sports car every day, like multiple times a day. Yeah,
that's not good. Especially if you're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for it. It's kind of it's going to ruin it. So, okay. Amazing. Well, Nick, you've been so awesome. Guys, if you want to follow Nick, make sure you go to Ronival, follow him on the social media at Ronival, or go to ronival.com. Make sure you take a look, get an appointment with them. Guy's super awesome. He's got a great team. They'll get in touch with you within minutes. Well, for me, this was probably within minutes or in an hour or so. He's sending me already properties to look at and my price range, you know, stuff that's like amazing, like just super high end luxury, like cool option. So I'm excited to go down there. I don't really drink, but I'll still have a beer with you because I think that would be just like so awesome. I'll make an exception for you. And yeah, man, I'm super excited for that. And we'll let Nick get back to work. He's got a lot of clients, I'm sure, today. And what are some of the last words you want to say to the peeps about building influence out there and having success in their career?
You know, I think for me, it's always been being yourself, you know, be your true self. And with that, you'll never go wrong, right? Don't try to be something that you're not, and find your tribe. Find who, with your being yourself, who you can influence, and don't try to be something that you're not, because that's going to be a job. And I don't look at what I do as a job. This is a passion. This is something that I love to do, that I was made to do. And if anyone and everyone could find that passion, then thinking big, having big influence is going to become second nature. Yeah,
I agree. You won't try to. When I was playing basketball growing up, I'm a sports guy. I played college basketball, a little pro as well. I hurt my knee, so that was kind of cut short. And that's what I wanted to do with my life. But some of my coaches, they said, play within yourself. You know, you could practice all you want and trying to jump higher and run faster and do things that you're experimenting and trying things out in practice. But in the game, you know what you can do. If you try to take too many risks in the game, it could go wrong. you might have to take a risk if we're losing, and like you just got to do it. But, you know, and I feel like that holds true in all of life. You know, desperate measures and you do desperate things, things are gonna go wrong. But if you can play within yourself and find the people around you that resonate with you and that are more in congruence with your mindset, with your values, with everything that you stand for, and just build a tribe around that. Don't try to like say, well, oh, this guy's got all this success, so you try to be like that, but your personality's not like that, you know? And I totally agree with you on that. That's super powerful. I think everybody listening can get something from pretty much everything you said. If like the whole thing that you said was amazing, Nick. So yeah, just good energy, man. You're just a good guy. So,
well, Jesse, pleasure for allowing me to speak to your audience, and I look forward to the next time.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, we'll let Nick get back to work today. If you're out there, let's go have beyond big influence in your life and your career, and go out there and make a positive impact. All right, guys. Until next time, we'll see you soon. Okay. Take care, guys. Bye.